Father, would you please explain about the beginning of Harmuti mission? Shortly.
It was 1976, around month of June. I was sent to Harmuti from Udalguri, where I was working with the Boros. And then actually, my heart and soul with the Boros, because I learned their language and many things. But then once the bishop told me, you go there, I said, I will obey. I prayed, and asked someone, I said, I will obey and go. Though it was very hard, but I went. Then by going there, I just went to 2-3 rounds to see the places, locations. And hardly we had 3 villages, Munda villages, and then some of like that we went to meet them. Wherever I went in the interior, they asked me to open the center there. I said my idea was to open the center where everybody can come together. And the communications was most important for the preach the gospel, I thought. Therefore, I said, let us see. Finally, I said, this the Harmuti was the best side. Though it was not, I was asked to open the center. That side the Tikrang river, not this side. Therefore, I went to told Bishop, if you give this side of the Tikrang river, 2 more villages also there. We will have 5 villages. And then he said it will be difficult to get land and all. I think we can get it. So he said, okay. Then he said, in that case, you give the order that way. So he gave asked me to open the mission at Harmuti, a letter to the parish of Dulaghat, where I staying for some time. When I gave the letter, it's okay. Then I began to take the cycle, go around. I made thrice, I saw the thing. Finally, I said, we found 3 locations, one near the railway station, another one going to Gumto, that side the one, and present site was one. But I said present site may be better, and then people who are there, they're ready to give the land. There are 9-10 families there, and I told them I will not take your land. We'll take a better land for you cultivation. It's a high land, and then wherever you want to do, we will buy it. Otherwise, you take the money, you buy wherever you want. Then they accepted it. So 2-3 people, I got the first land. Then in front of the houses, slowly one by one they gave. I gave them land, or they gave our money. They gave. So in a short time, the Christian community, existing Christian community, began to help us very much, because for some reason or other they are not coming to church for 3-4 years. So no baptism has been done, no marriage was conducted, but they are living like that. But then they need leave the church. Then I said I had to bring them back, rectify the marriages, make baptism, I thought, and I told them. But then if they want to bring them back to church, there was a kind of thing. We must they must pay some fine.
Excuse me, Father, can you strictly go to Arunachal?
Oh, it's okay. So mission was started. People nearby began to help and put me down. Then being there 1 year, I just began to study people coming down from the hills. Who are these people? I never knew much idea about Arunachal also. Who are these people? And then began to read books, Daflas. So then I put a picture of Mary, miraculous mother. Somebody has sent it from Italy. I had Taj church. I put daily after mass. We used to kneel down and pray. Mother, somehow open up the hills. I know we cannot enter inside Arunachal. We need inner line pass. So far nobody has entered, nobody dared. But then I prayed to Mary, just somehow open up. Then I told my catechist, if you know anybody on the border, just tell them to come and meet me. So one man came, Tomutana, from Gumto, and as he came, he saw me and said, Father, if our people, Arunachal, will come to know here is a mission, they will come in such numbers, you will not be managed. Actually, it was a prophetic word, which later on I found it realistic. Then he said and went away. Then another young boy, Devi Akojam, who had come today for the function, he came with a half pant, with a knife and everything, all pudum and everything. Then I asked, what I came to see is, I took him to a church, and then saw Station of the Cross, prayed with him myself and came out. He says, I like Christ, he said. That is the point I got. Okay, come and stay with me, I will teach you about Christ. Went back, after 50 days brought his bedding and he was ready to stay. Then I called one teacher to teach him some little English and a little Bible and myself, and then gave me a cycle to go around and see. Used to take him where the villages, when I go to visit the villages, perform the sacrament, I took him. So I kept him close to me. And then after 15 days, I said, you are alone. You don't have friends in Arunachal. He told, yes, I have called one of them. So Takkamhali, second person, he came. And then they talked among themselves. I told him his friend is alone. Why can't he stay along with him? He went and got permission from his parents from Nagarlugun side. And then he came and stayed. And then he brought another man from, I think, Nayon, he brought. And then, then he brought another, 6, 7 of them came together. They remained with me 6 months. And then they practiced religion with us practically, and then learned many things, and saw the world around, because they are not allowed to come in. They are allowed to come in, we are not allowed to go. Not much of freedom there in the hills and all. So what I did, I kept them close and then taught them, and they liked Christianity, the way, the charity, so many things. After 6 months they asked for baptism, give us baptism. Then I told Bishop Mitatani, Joseph Mitatani, at the time Bishop of Tezpur, something strange is happening. A few boys came and stayed with me. They asked for baptism. Could he come down and help them? So he came one day. They were all dressed in Nishi dress and all the Pudum, everything. This is first baptism, 1978, I think July, if I'm not mistaken. Our records will show. Then, after receiving baptism, one boy said, Deviya Gojo, I will go inside and preach what I have heard and seen here. I go. Then I went to Zero Side, Jerome Zero Side, and came back and told me, Father, I will not be, they are ready to cut. Yajalit and all ready to cut. Therefore, I came back. Doesn't matter, stay with me. No, I will go. Next day I will go to Itanagar. He went to Itanagar, Ganga village, and taught them. After 1 week, he brought 11 boys and girls, young boys and girls. They said, Father, they are ready to receive baptism. I kept them 4 days, taught them rudimentaries of the faith and everything, and then baptized them. Second group, when they received baptism, they began after Mass baptism, they began to dance. I did not understand. You don't understand the meaning, no? Sing and dance there. So happy. I said, I don't understand. Today we are receiving a new life, so happy, welling up in their hearts and minds, no? I said, so happy. Then that is the beginning of, so to say, group baptisms. So these boys used to go inside, and then they used to send other villages, other villages, the everyday nearby villages used to. Then, after some time, I saw these people are growing. So there are on the border area, Itanagar border area. So first man who came and told me, if our people come to know they come such numbers, you will not be able to manage. Then I called him. You go to the interior. He walked to Sagali side and told about me, the mission and all. Then Yasa, just she came today with her son. She brought hiding, there was no road. They walked across the hills and rivers, no? 2-3 days she took, and she came down hidingly. And then if anybody asked where are you going, we are going to market. She came and stayed, and then they remained 4 days. I taught them. And then afterwards they asked for baptism. After baptism, we had round table conference. She put me 2 ideas. One is there is a persecution inside. Anybody says, but still send the preachers. Somehow, I don't know how we will manage, send. Second is educate our children. So these 2 things put in my head. So the boys who have been baptized recently, at least has contact little bit of religion. I have the rosary, medals, pictures, whatever they involved, send them different places, go, contact, tell them, come here Saturday. Meanwhile, many people used to come Saturdays, Sunday marketing, Harmati market, bazaar. So I told them, you go and tell Oh, you, how are you? Then the one shop, one pharmacist also knows, why are you saying you go? Their mission is always open. So boys used to go and bring, they used to stay in the, I put up a niche house, small hut. They used to say, then meanwhile I started a school, small children, Boli with all, Boli, this Techipal, the event just now. They're all small kids, came for the school, they began to teach them. In niche language, prayers, this, that. Thus, the church was really growing. Every week, then onwards, we used to have 30, 40 baptisms every Saturday. People used to come, one village baptized, they will inform the other. It was so contagious that even people from Koloriang, Sarli Hurli, Devan, and Pasiparlo, they used to come in groups and then camping this place, that place with a vehicle, and even 7-8 days walk and come to receive baptism or for education. Therefore,
Yeah, so the person who is helped in during these days, like brothers or priests, who were with you at that time?
at the beginning there was no only these boys helping me, no. And the local catechists, where they come, they receive them. And one of them, I made them as a kind of contact point catechist, no. Tevya Gojam, this, that. Then later on, Puvatharin joined, because I went brought him from Poa Simla. He was a strong. Then Techi Begu from Sagali, he is also powerful. Then our boys, see, when these boys are, I got a small school, LKG, UKG school, and then people are coming and no leaders as such. So I said, these boys takes time to grow. We need youth. So I wrote a letter to Menambarambil, he was a rector of the Mbusco Shillong. Can you take 2-3 boys in your school? Or big in class 9, 10 boys. He said he put some number of conditions. On these conditions, I will help you. And more also, he said. So, one of the conditions was I must vouch for their character. I do not know their character. Who are they? As much he knows, I know. Then, that is the thing I know how to solve. In prayer, I found a solution. The boy whom you want to, they selected 3 boys. One is Ratu, engineers now, no. Ratu, then Akka, from Akka side one, then Navum, this Seppa, one minister that on he was. Then Techidil, 4-5 boys they came, and then their Kambudas, they vouched for the character. This boy is good, this one. Taking that letter, I used to send. So first 3 boys, he said, I am in between the year he used to send, not the beginning, because it's a sudden. Said you don't send 9 boys, send only 3 boys. Later on I will tell you. So 3 boys went, and then he was taken up. So much the love for the Bible, church, this, that. He sent a telegram, come up immediately. I got frightened because these boys might have something done wrong, because each one carries so many knives like that, so many things. So something might have happened. I was busy also alone. First a telegram, a letter, immediately 2-3 things. Then I left everything, suddenly went Shillong. When I went, he was in the rector's room, I was in the veranda, he came out, embraced me, kissed me and said, the boys have sent their gold. So much love for Christ, love for Bible, everything I got, I will help you more. Thus our sending boys here grew. So 3 boys then, he himself used to find out, then we used to find out Northeast, I think 80, 81 and all, I had 150 boys and girls of class 9, 8. Those boys also, meanwhile, the people who have been baptized, I used to study the area, conduct persons, Kamburas, used to take them in 2-3 buses as the tourists are pilgrimage to Shillong, any Sabha happens, I used to take them. Boys are studying. So these 150 boys, they used to come for the holidays. I used to send them with rosary, pictures, some instructions. You don't go, you go home 2-3 days, then go and preach. And the thing is, whenever I took boys and girls from each area, each village, I used to take 2-3 together. So that when they go back, they have got a human companionship also. They are able to help each other, build the church. So that worked well. Each village, the village community, praying community. Then praying for when they are sick, praying over. No medicine, no medical. Then through prayer healing. So many things was happening simultaneously. Simultaneously, we are baptizing every week 30, 40. Children are studying, taking for pilgrimage. The ordinary people, like fisher folk, the people who are baptized without any letters, workers like thing, they went and spread our contact point, bringing people. Exam for excursion, this, that. So people began to converse towards Harmati for education, for baptism, many other things. So,
Father, I want to ask you the participation of Father C.C. Jose with you.
so we'll have this. I was alone, so doing the work for nearly 2-3 years. Then, since I had contact with the Menambrable, I used to tell him during holidays, can you send some brothers to help me? Also, they can go inside, we can have a work permit. I can send them just to our boys studying here and there, they can go. So he sent P.K. George and C.C. Jose and then C.M. Paul. All of them later on, I think, big people become. They came. I used to send a work permit either for Christmas. Meanwhile, the boys used to prepare, and they who used to go in hiding as workers and all, stick, direct them, eat them. Like that, they are also doing. During holidays, they used to send them. So, C.C. Joseph, he went up to Neopin and Salihurli, he went with our children, and he returned back. And the next time also I asked to send him next holidays also. He used to go. So meanwhile he picked up language. Also I have kept 100 boys. Mostly half of them in Shillong. I asked him, used to go and check those boys, help them out. He's a contact person also for a thing. So afterwards that way, then Jesus Jose after 2-3 years, he was ordained. And he was working in Kohima somewhere. Then I asked the bishop, meanwhile, the ecclesiastical changes were there. Medathan was transferred to Imphal. Karkata came to Tezpur. So I asked him, can you ask that far he knows some little Lishi, those Salesians? I am a assistant priest. Can you ask to help me? I am alone. Because he has gone 2-3. So happily they gave. C.C. Jose. Yes, Jesus Jose came and helped me in many ways. He didn't remain longer because once I had gone to with 25 people, 45 days, a tour all over India to expose their suffering, faith and all. They used to expose and speak to people about their faith suffering. That was the persecution time. With the cultural troupe, I took them. Nearly 45 days all over India, I took them. So that time, I asked them to look after as a priest. When I came back, I think then that is the first stage of C.C. Jose with me.
Okay. Father, 1 minute. Just I want to stop.